What the pundits say, and again, I'm being very straightforward and honest with you, is they say, well, young people, they come out to rallies. But you know what? They're not going to come out to participate in the caucus. So how would you like to make the pundits look dumb on election night?
Bernie Sanders in Iowa yesterday. The senator joins us now this morning, smiling at your own line right there, Senator. So is that what's going to happen? All the pundits going to look dumb?
I surely hope so, George. Look, we have been running all over the state. We have had town meetings and rallies that have brought out almost 70,000 people in the state of Iowa. And I think if working people and lower income people and young people come out to vote in significant numbers tomorrow night, we're going to win this thing and pull off one of the great political upsets in recent history. George, when we began this campaign, as you well know, we were trailing Hillary Clinton by 50 or 60 points. Some of the polls have us a little behind. Some of the polls now have a little bit ahead. I think we have a shot to win it if people come out in good numbers.
You led me to it. Your announcement back in May was one of the most low-key presidential announcements I've ever seen. So I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Donald Trump at the top of the program. When you were making that announcement back on May 26, did you really believe you'd be in the position you're in today?
This is what I thought, to be honest with you. I thought the message that we had, which is that the economy is rigged in the sense that working people are working longer hours for low wages and almost all new income is going to the top 1%. I thought that would resonate, and I thought that the idea that the campaign finance system is corrupt. George, you cannot appreciate how disgusted people are, whether they're conservatives or progressives, with the idea that billionaires now are able to buy elections. So I think that issue, those issues of the decline of the middle class, of billionaires being able to buy elections while kids can't afford to go to college, while people are just sinking further and further into poverty, I thought that that message would resonate. I did not believe it would resonate quite as fast as it has.
You clearly have struck a chord, but we just heard Secretary Clinton make her case, and what's at the heart of her case is that line she had about your candidacy, saying she's not going to overpromise and underdeliver. That was an argument picked up by the New York Times in their endorsement of her. They're saying she has the breadth of experience, and your proposals are not realistic. How do you respond to that?
I respond to it by saying that every proposal that I am bringing forth is in fact supported by the vast majority of the American people. The problem is that Congress is so dominated by big money interests, they are much more concerned about campaign contributions than they are about the needs of working families. And what I am saying is that, yeah, the United States should join the rest of the industrialized world, guarantee health care to all people, have paid family and medical leave, make public colleges and universities tuition-free, create millions of decent-paying jobs by rebuilding our infrastructure. These are not radical ideas, George, and demanding that the wealthiest people and the largest corporations in this country start paying their fair share of taxes, that we break up these large Wall Street conglomerates. These are not radical ideas. This is what the American people want. Now, the real question is, can we effectively take on the drug companies and the insurance companies and Wall Street and corporate America? That's a fair question. I believe the American people are ready for that fight. I'll give you one example, George. We have received 3 million individual campaign contributions, averaging $27 apiece. That is more than any candidate in the history of America up to this point. Secretary Clinton relies on super PACs and wealthy people to contribute to her campaign. That's a difference. The American people want us to move in a very different direction. They want government to represent all of us, not just the wealthy. That's why our campaign is doing well. That's why I think we can win the general election.
Well, that's the other key question. Can you win the general election? You heard what Secretary Clinton had to say about those other Democrats who are concerned that you, a Democratic socialist, you're going to get slapped with that label, not going to be able to win in a general election.
Well, look, in terms of what people are going to get slapped with, look at the front pages today in terms of what Secretary Clinton is getting slapped with.
What is it?
But here is the point. Well, you know as well as I do, it has to do with emails. But what is more important is that our campaign is generating an enormous amount of excitement and enthusiasm all over this country. We are bringing large numbers of people into the political process. Democrats win elections when large numbers of people come out and vote. That's what Obama did in 2008. That's what we can do right now. Republicans win elections when people are demoralized and voter turnout is low. So I think there is no question but that we have the excitement. Second of all, George, just look at some of the polls that are out there. Look at the polls that come from battleground states in terms of Wisconsin, New Hampshire, Iowa. Sanders versus Trump, we do a lot better than Hillary Clinton does against Trump. National polls, we're doing better against Trump. Will they throw the kitchen sink at me? They sure will. We've got a lot to throw at them. The American people do not want to vote for Republicans who want to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid and give huge tax breaks to billionaires. Republicans who refuse to even acknowledge the reality of climate change, let alone do something about it. Republicans who are bought and sold by billionaires and corporate America. If we run against Trump, we'll beat him. I am absolutely confident that we can win the general election.
You just mentioned the emails. You famously said in that first debate you're sick and tired of hearing about the emails, that Republicans clearly are not. Are you now saying that that is an issue in November, that this is going to harm her electability?
Well, I think, what you just said is true. Republicans are talking about. What I have said is that there is a legal process underway right now. And I'm not going to politicize that issue. I am not attacking Hillary Clinton on that issue. I stand by what I said in the first debate. Republicans, needless to say, have a different point of view on that. I am going to, and I think the reason our campaign is doing well is we are treating the American people with intelligence. We are talking about a corrupt campaign finance system, a rigged economy, a broken criminal justice system, the need for millions of people who have given up on American democracy to come back in and demand that our government represents all of us and not just the top 1%. That's why we're winning, because we're running an issue-oriented campaign, and that's why I think we can win in November.
In that Des Moines Register poll, President Obama, the most popular Democrat in the state of Iowa right now. You met with the president this week, but you have had something of an uneven relationship with him. And right now there's something new circulating, this new book out by Bill Press called Buyer's Remorse, How Obama's Let Progressives Down. Right at the top, there's a blurb from you saying, read this book. Bill Press makes the case on the back, a more nuanced, lengthy endorsement from you. But is that what you believe? President Obama let progressives down?
No, what I believe, George, I wrote a blurb, 3 lines, and what the blurb said, if you have it in front of you, is that the next president has got to be very active in bringing people into the political process. Democracy is not about 63% of the people not voting, which was the case in the last election. That's what the next president has got to do. I happen to believe that President Obama has done an excellent job, taken on the incredible obstructionism of the Republicans. Where we are today is a lot better place than we were when Bush left office and we were losing 800,000 jobs a month. President Obama, Vice President Biden have done a great job. They are my friends. I work with them. So I think that what we have got to do is build on that record and go forward and address the needs of the American middle class.
Senator Sanders, thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
You've heard from the candidates.